Well, hello everybody. Time for another ramble. And this one is brought to you by the way that I am in a long render, and it's taken forever. And, yeah, I've moved to better resolutions for my videos. So, this is on my older camera. My new videos will be just, awesome resolution and take forever to render. The better resolution you use, longer it's going to take. Today's ramble just popped into my mind. Is I tried to kill the Colorado YouTube Club. So, a couple years ago, I took over the club, okay? And it was actually named Denver YouTube Professionals, right? And I went to a couple of the meetups of the Denver YouTube Professionals while it was being run by the previous regime, right? And they would have suggested donations listed on their meetups. And I'd get there, and there'd be a guy standing at the door taking the money from people. There was no getting in for free, right? But they would list it as suggested donation, like $10, right? But they would have things like pizza, a bunch of different pizzas cut up, and you could just grab a slice of pizza if you wanted. They were shooting out of the Open Media Foundation on Calumet Street in Denver, and it really seemed to me like the Open Media Foundation, which is the building and also a non-profit, were trying to use Meetup in order to sell classes to people who wanted to be YouTubers and didn't know how to, say, start a YouTube channel, and they wanted to do that in order to raise money to keep their building in funding. That it seemed like that was what they were doing with their meetup group. And there were a couple of different YouTubers involved with this. One of which was Brian G. Johnson, who he's only started his YouTube channel in order to write a book about how to start and create a successful YouTube channel, and it's a very popular topic. Let me tell you, it's the reason why I tried to kill the meetup group years later. We'll get to that. So, I took over the group after they decided to abandon the meetup group. They decided it was not worth their while to keep running it. I don't know why. Whatever their reasons were, I wasn't part of the clique that was running the meetup group before. But I have run other meetup groups in the past, more for activism and for certain ideologies, but never for just for fun for YouTube. This is my source of fun in my life. And I thought, well, I could take my expertise in running these other groups and apply it to this group. So I ran a couple of meetups in the beginning in restaurants that I thought would be able to handle the amount of people that I was going to draw. And one of these meetups I remember very well. It was in a restaurant called McCoy's off I-70 and Federal. And I really loved their machaca. It's like a steak sauce stuff that's on top of eggs. It's just awesome. It's got like it's like brisket inside the sauce. It's the taste is awesome, and I really liked it. And it seemed like they had expandable seating to the point where if somebody didn't show up or somebody, more people did show up, they could just, add tables and squish them together because their tables were, square, and we could do that. And then after about the third time of doing it, the manager of McCoy's, whose face is like plastered all over the place in like caricatures drawn by some artist, that guy decided to tell us that we couldn't have our meetups there anymore, which was weird because we were the ones who were giving him business. We were the ones filling the tables. He didn't have that much business going on during the hours that we were having our meetups. So it was weird to me, and it really stuck in my craw and Misty's. And so when both of us were running either of our meetup groups, we decided to never go back there again. And through all the different times that I would run these meetup groups in just restaurants, the Colorado YouTube Club, as I renamed it, I would get a bunch of people who were there for self-promotion, which is fine. I was looking for more people who wanted to collaborate, maybe, or just talk about their time on YouTube. I wasn't looking to be on the receiving end of people trying to get me to look at their videos in the moment. Like, they would bring their tablets or show me on their phone their videos, like, while I'm eating with them, trying to have a conversation with them, the person, So that was interesting. I had a couple people show up and try to sell products to us, try to get us interested in these apps that would be really good for videographers, and that wasn't really the purpose of the group. It was more community, and what they saw was, oh, here's a group that is trying to be all about community. Let me go and try to pitch my product there, because there's an existing group of people who all, are into videography. Let me try to pitch my product to them. That's the perfect place for me to go, And I can't blame them, if they're having trouble selling their products, that they would look to do kind of guerrilla marketing in places where it's not really wanted, but they can tell that the demographics of the people are right for the type of people they want buying their product. Can't blame them for trying to make a buck, but it made running the group hard when what I really wanted was community, and what people were showing up for was not what they were getting, because there were people who were trying to piss in the pool, right? So there was a point in my running the Colorado YouTube Club where I decided that I needed a little break from it, and I had other priorities going on. So for a good 6 months, I didn't run anything, right? Nobody ever stepped up to help me run it out of the hundreds of people in it. Nobody would suggest anything that they wanted to do. I would promote people to being able to do everything I could as the organizer, and they never posted anything whatsoever. Every meetup was posted by me, organized by me. I could not get any help whatsoever on it, right? And it was to the point where, like, I put the settings to where if anyone posted an idea and like 3 people decided that they wanted to go to it, it would automatically generate the meetup without me even touching it. And I did that so that, like, it was completely not run by my personality. Like, beyond democratic. It was anyone could promote anything that they wanted to do, and nobody wanted to organize anything. You know, which is weird for a group of hundreds of people that nobody would step up. So yeah, that little 6-month hiatus of the group, it was all down to me just being tired for a little while. Then I started trying to do different things with the group, making meetups where it was stuff that I was already going to be doing, just going out filming activism like I do, or I set a couple restaurant meetups. And then finally, in the past couple months, I did a couple things where they had this promotion with WeWork, and people showed up to that. You know, they were like, "Oh my goodness, there's a large conference room and this large area. Let's go explore that." Well, another problem that I had that I'll backing up. Another problem that I had was not many people showed up for more than one meeting of this group. Sandy from the channel Mom's Opinion did. She was the person who showed up the most. Paul, a very popular commenter here on YouTube, he showed up a lot. But other than those two, there weren't a lot of people who showed up to multiple meetings of the group. And there were people who had the intention, and they would click going, you know, on one day, and then come the day of the group meeting, they would not show up. And it would be like an hour before the meeting, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't go." And they might leave a comment. Sometimes they didn't even leave a comment. So those are just frustrating things to deal with, you know, trying to get people to show up to something that... See, I didn't have people paying for anything, right? So they didn't have any investment in going, because I decided, unlike the previous regime, I didn't want to make money off people, right? I don't have any desire to sell to people a class on how to become a YouTuber. There's no desire on my part to run YouTube 101 over and over again in order to try to milk people out of money, people who are probably never going to be YouTubers, you know? I'm like 3,000 videos into this channel, and if you can't create a channel and make more than 10 videos on it, there's not much I can do to help you get past that initial video making time, you know? And if you can't make it past 100 videos with that much dedication and not have anybody watching your videos, you're probably not going to make it on YouTube. You know, we can't all be like Jack Black's, you know, Jablinski Games channel, where, you know, on his second video he's already got like 2.5 million subscribers. That shit just does not happen for the rest of us. Your first 100 videos, you might not have but 6 people watching each video, and some of those are going to be your family. You know, you really have to stick to it, and I can't teach that stick-to-itiveness to people. If I even bring it up in like a YouTube 101 style course, people might actually be dissuaded from becoming YouTubers, you know, because they'll be like, "Oh man, you mean it's actually hard?" You know, this first few videos that I posted, not getting a bunch of views, that's going to continue for months until I finally create my own fan base. Yes, that's exactly the way it goes, and most people, they just don't have the determination to get through that. You know, they see it as rejection, or they see it as not getting enough reward for the effort that they're putting in. That's fine. So, the last few meetings that I had of the Colorado YouTube Club, they were rewarding to me in that a new group of people started showing up to that WeWork building. And those are people that basically don't have a car. They were more students, and they could actually attend that one because they were downtown. It was very close to where all the colleges are and everything. And even then, I had people commenting, "Oh man, if you could just have a meeting like this down south, then I'd go." You know, I'm like, well, we've run meetings down south and you didn't show up, so show up or shut up. You know, but it was rewarding in that more people were showing up to those meetings, which was weird to me, that I wasn't charging anything for people to show up to restaurants where you can buy whatever you want to eat. And the only thing I was saying was, you know, pay for whatever you order. You know, people weren't showing up as much to that as they were showing up to a free place where you don't have to order anything. You know, that's something I learned. It's just people will look at the restaurant and go, you know, do I have enough money to eat out today? And I guess I was attracting more people by having it at a venue where you wouldn't be pressured to spend any money whatsoever. But then again, the people that would click "Yes, I'm going" weren't always the people who showed up. You know, sometimes people would only click "I'm going" while they were on the way to it. You can't plan for the people who say that they're going to actually show up to the thing. And that's even a problem on other platforms like Facebook. When people are running events through that, you know, you'll see thousands of people say, "I'm going to something," and then when you get there, you might see a couple hundred. It happens, you know. It takes a lot more to motivate people to show up than to have an online forum where they can click "I'm going," you know, or "I'm interested." This morning, I had every intention of going to a fracking protest that was going to happen at the state capitol, and then I slept in, and the thing went from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. And I'm like, well, I can see why they would do that in the freezing cold this morning, because they're wanting to have as many people on their way to work, you know, the work traffic, see their signs. But for somebody who's, you know, just got on his weekend and he's been, you know, been tired throughout his work week, you know, wake up and it's like, man, they're just about to start, and I could like jump in the shower and drive down there and catch maybe the end of it. And I was like, it's freezing. You know, it's 10 degrees this morning. No. You know, and I'm one of the people who clicked interested. So, not only do I get it from an organizer perspective, but from just somebody who goes to other people's events. Sometimes I'm flaky too. You know, it's just human nature. And finally, I came to the point where I decided that my run as the organizer of the Colorado YouTube Club had to come to an end, because there wasn't much of a club, really. The few people that I met through it that I am going to stay in touch with, I can stay in touch with them without the Meetup group, you know. And it costs like $20 a month to be an organizer on Meetup.com, and you don't get any better outcome. You don't get any better number of people showing up to your meetings than doing it for free on Facebook. For reals. And I realize after, you know, all of these meetings that I ran on Meetup, if you call something the Colorado YouTube Club, you're going to have a whole bunch of people who think they want to be YouTubers, who want to learn how to create a channel, rather than people who are already at my level, who have been doing this for a decade and want to talk to other people who have been doing this for a long time, and you share your upper level meta thoughts about YouTube. That shit doesn't happen. You just get newbies, right? And I can organize the larger YouTubers in the city to come together for a dinner a lot easier than, you know, on my own, without this platform, than I can, you know, trying to make something where people have to click, am I going or not, and then, you know, just leaving it up to those people to just decide through that platform. It's just not working, you know. I could have me, Mom's Opinion, Kane Cordova, hell, I can get Shoe Nice to show up to something, because he's in the area too. Couldn't get Shani, for Christ, to show up to something that she said that she was going to do. You know, she flaked out on me. But I could probably get her to show up in the future. But, you know, there's a lot of YouTubers that have at least a couple hundred subscribers that I know in the area. You know, if I were to try to get them to use this Meetup platform, they're never going to show up, and I'm just going to be flooded with people who have not even started their YouTube career. You know? People who want to learn, or not even people who want to learn, people who think they want to learn how to be a YouTuber. If that makes any sense. Like, you start teaching them this stuff, and they never follow through with it. Right? I was so open with the organizer abilities, you know, just bestowing them on anyone. And not only did I not have people show up that were actually already YouTubers, I didn't have anyone who showed up who would help me out with the organization of the group. And I ran into this point in my life where I'm about to start prioritizing my time. And part of that is me going back to grad school in order to finish my master's degree. And I know that I don't have enough time to spend on something that's just not being rewarding to me anymore. So I decided I'm going to stop being the organizer. I'm going to step down. Now, the way that I took over the group, like over 2 years ago, was somebody else just stepped down and didn't appoint anyone to take over the group, right? They didn't appoint a successor. They just said, okay, I'm going to stop running this group. And there was already at least over 250 people in the group. And I thought, you know what? That's a waste that they had collected that many people, local, you know, that were interested in videography. You know, I'll step up and I'll try to run some stuff, right? And I did. Now the group has 381 members, right? And not all of them have showed up to even one of the events, but you know, they're there. They're in the area. They've decided to come, or they've decided to join by clicking. You know, for as much investment as that gives you. So I decided that I'm no longer going to be the organizer. I stepped down, and I went through all the process of abdicating as the organizer without naming anyone as a successor. That starts a 10-day process whereby if nobody else steps up, the entire meetup group of 381 people in my city would just be deleted off of meetup.com, right? Or at least that's the way that they try to market it to everybody, as far as like, hey, nobody's paying us $20 a month anymore to have this group hosted. If nobody steps up, then we're just going to delete it. It's kind of like a blackmail thing of like, you're on our platform and you could be on Facebook for free, but you found something in Meetup that was, worthwhile, and we're going to kill it if you don't start paying up. So this is the email that they give to people after an entire week has gone by and nobody has stepped up as the organizer. It says, yikes, your Meetup group will shut down in 48 hours, right? It goes on to say, nobody has stepped up yet to become the new organizer of the Colorado YouTube Club. There are only 48 hours left before the group is shut down and removed from meetup.com forever. And then it says, as the new organizer, you get to determine the future direction of the Meetup group, change the name, description, group colors, etc., schedule meetups, and make it whatever you and your members want. And that has a little button. Keep this group going. Right? This is the marketing strategy they have. And basically, it's as illegitimate as, like, someone selling their YouTube channel. Right? For instance, the Fred channel used to be like the biggest channel here on YouTube. When Fred Lucas, as we know him now, when he decided to sell that channel and like content that wasn't even Fred started showing up on the channel, people turned their nose at it. They're like, "Oh, what is this? This isn't what we expected from being subscribed to this channel." And that's happened with a bunch of channels where people have sold them. Philip DeFranco sold a bunch of his channels that he helped to build, and then they were filled with content that didn't have the original people on it, and people just didn't like it because people subscribe for the people that they saw, and you can't sell your subscriber base, right? Same thing with meetup.com. The 250 or so people that were in the group before I started it, they weren't showing up to shit. None of the previous organizers especially showed up to anything that I posted, right? It's not like I kicked them out of the group or anything. I didn't even know, which ones were the biggest organizers or not. I didn't care. I was just trying to keep this group of people together because I got sucked in by this same email that I see now, right? That unless somebody steps up, we're going to shut down the group. I got sucked in by that a couple years ago when I took over, right? So I got this email, said 48 hours, and 2 days later I checked meetup.com and the group didn't die. And I was like, whoa, what is this? They promised that if nobody stepped up, they'd delete the group and it would be over and done with. Well, they got another sucker. And this guy's name, I just learned it by looking at the list of organizers. This new sucker's name on the Colorado YouTube Club is Vic Milbrath. He is the new top dog who's actually paying for it. All right, and let's see. If I click on the organizers, So I was very open with the leadership abilities when I was there as the organizer, and I added Marie Sanchez blog, who showed up to like 2 events, I think. Sandra, she's from Mom's Opinion, right? And this girl, Erica Jackson, her and her man there, they run a channel together, and they showed up to like 2 events. So I added those people as event organizers myself, and I guess they've just stayed on through the process. You know, they weren't deleted when I stepped down. This guy right here, never saw him at any one of our events. Ever. I don't know if he showed up to events like before my time and he was just waiting to take it over. I don't know. But when I click on him here, he's got a profile. He's been the organizer since January 2nd, 2019. What's he hope to get out of this meetup? Meet other local YouTubers and share ideas. How do you find us? Belong to the group already under a different Meetup login. And his YouTube channel name is Vic's Crappy Videos. And if I, let's just check out Vic's Crappy Videos a second, right? So, let's paste that here. Vic's Crappy Videos. It's got 53,000 subscribers, 23 videos. Let's see what kind of videos he's got. Pretty good stuff. He's got pretty good view counts. You know, maybe one day he'll be, you know, up in the video count as much as I am, but it looks like he posts, let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos last year, 2 in the last month, and then all of his videos before that were 4 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't know if he's really, you know, a community guy when he's only posting that many videos, but I can't complain because, you know, I gave up the group, and whatever the group becomes under his running it, that's not my place anymore to say, you know. He thought that maybe he can take over the same 380-something people that I let go of and lead them into doing something, and maybe he can. So far, he has not posted any events since he took over. And in fact, me going to the Skeptic Feminist Murder Trial was the last posted event, and that carried over after I stepped down as organizer. That event was still posted, and that is the last event as of today, as of me making this video, that the group has had. So maybe he's thinking that other people might step up and help him out. He'd be wrong, because that shit just doesn't happen. People expect the organizer to make the events, you know. They don't sign up to join a group so that they can lead. They just want to show up, you know, and not do any of the setup or tear down. So yeah, I tried to kill the group after I got sucked into running the group by the marketing that Meetup does. You know, I had a good run. I met some people that I will stay in touch with. I just called Sandy yesterday to talk to her about, you know, who this Vic Milbrath guy is. Yeah. It's not dead yet. It continues on. And I bet, you know, if their marketing is this successful, when they're basically guilting people into the community dying if you don't step up, if their marketing is successful enough where, you know, out of a couple hundred people, they're going to get one person to step up and start paying $20 a month to keep a group going. You know, people who don't even know each other and don't even know how successful the group has been, you know. If their marketing is that successful, then this group could go on forever. And, yeah. For my part, if I see something interesting posted in the group, I will try to attend it. And when I click I'm going, I will try to show up, you know, because I know the frustration of trying to run a group like that. Anyways, time to put my energies into more productive things like schoolwork. Talk to you all later.